Hello, and thank you for attending SAGE Alerts and Workflow video-based training. Please note that this is video-based training, and content is for training purposes only and intended for new and existing SAGE Alerts and Workflow customers.
Hi, my name is Jane Nichols, and today we are going to talk about dashboard alerts in the Alerts and Automation solution. What is an alert dashboard? It is a web page or HTML page that shows you the details of a specific business condition. There is no limit to the number of dashboards that you can create. There are preparatory steps that you need to take in order to enable the solution to create alert dashboards. There are 3 steps involved in the setup of dashboard alerts. The first step is to request and download the Dashboard Setup Kit. It is a collection of templates, examples, and instructions on creating alert dashboards. With the solution, dashboard alerts are known as webcasts. The solution provides you with a pre-configured template for those dashboard alerts. This template controls such things as font and point size to be used and other characteristics. You can also modify this template if you would like. The second step is to identify where you want the solution to create the output dashboards that it creates. Keep in mind that dashboards are simply web page files. Note that when you install the solution, there are a number of subfolders that it installs. We suggest that you create a new folder called Webcaster and that all of the dashboards that are created beneath this Webcaster folder. This is not a requirement, just a suggestion. When the solution creates these dashboards, it will put them into one or more subfolders. In many cases, you will have some dashboards that are accessible to everyone, so you may want to have one dashboard folder called something like General. Then you may have individual people within your organization, like CEO, CFO, sales manager, or individual salespeople who want to get their own dashboards showing their own specific information. So you will want to create individual folders with people's names, whether it's their last name, first name, or full name. The solution has the ability to create these dashboard files in individual folders. The last preparatory step is done in the Solutions Admin module. Open the Admin module and go to the Services tab, and the last option is called Webcast Locations. Remember that in the solution, dashboards are created through a function called Webcasting. We recommend that you set up at least one webcast location. That one location must have a description of default in all caps, as you see here. Next, we'll talk about how dashboard alerts are used. Dashboard alerts have 3 distinct uses. The first is task-specific dashboards. This is a display of information that pertains to a specific business area, such as overdue invoices, low stock, unassigned leads, or open support calls. Next is staff and task-specific dashboards. This is a display of information that pertains to a specific user and their tasks, such as my clients' overdue invoices or my activities for today. And finally, user alert listing. This is a display of all alerts for all business conditions that apply to a specific user. For example, my alerts. So, what does a dashboard consist of? A single dashboard, such as one showing overdue sales opportunities, consists of the following components: a dashboard template that contains configuration details on the overall design of the dashboard window, dashboard events that control what data will be shown within each dashboard window, and dashboard subscribers that control where the output for a dashboard is to be generated and stored. Before we jump into the application, let's talk about how dashboard alerts work. Dashboard alerts work in the following manner. You create one or more folders, disks, or directories which will contain the dashboard output. You create a dashboard template that provides the basic structure for the dashboard windows that are to be created by various events. You define individual queries for each dashboard window that you wish to have created. For example, an overdue opportunities query, a low inventory query, and so on. And you specify what application data will be output into each dashboard window and how often each dashboard will have its data refreshed. Once a dashboard is initially created, the solution will automatically update its contents when the corresponding conditions in the underlying database changes. Let's start by enabling dashboards in the solution. Follow these steps. Expand the Monitor module and click on the Activity tab. Make sure that the Webcast server shows a status of on, and remember Webcaster equals dashboards. If the Webcaster server shows a status of off, click next to the word off to enable this server. Restart the Knowledge Sync Windows service and you're ready to work with alert dashboards. We'll begin by creating a dashboard template. All dashboards have a general layout and design that is controlled by an HTML template. We suggest that you use the standard dashboard template from the solution within the Dashboard Setup Kit. In this kit is the default dashboard template, which you may optionally edit to include your company name, logo, etc. Note that you must use an HTML editor to make such changes. Do not edit the template in Microsoft Word, as it will lose its formatting. You may edit a template using Notepad if you have no HTML editor available. The only variable field in this template is called event_message. This field contains the contents of the webcast deliverable of the event which generates a dashboard. We suggest storing your webcast templates in a folder called Webcaster. You will need to create this folder, and we suggest you do so directly under the Knowledge Sync installation folder, as you see here. You may wish to create multiple templates for the following reasons: to have different dashboard layouts for different recipients. For example, you might have one template that is used for your internal dashboards, but a different template for dashboards that are going to be seen by customers or suppliers. Or to have dashboards that reside in different locations for security reasons. Each template has its own publishing location, and so internal dashboards might be stored inside a firewall, whereas customer dashboards might be stored outside of it. To create multiple templates, make a copy of the original template, make any necessary changes to the new one, and then store the new template with its own unique name. You can see here we have the dashboard template stored in the Webcaster folder. You must specify where dashboard output is to be generated and stored. This is referred to as a dashboard's publishing location. Dashboard output may be stored in one folder or in multiple folders. For example, if you wish to create dashboards for users Smith, Jones, and Parker, you might wish to store these dashboards in corresponding folders called Smith, Jones, and Parker, as I've done here. Plus, if you are creating dashboards for various departments within your organization, you might create folders such as sales, support, and shipping. The solution suggests that dashboards be created in subfolders beneath the Knowledge Sync Webcaster folder. You may specify other locations if desired. I mentioned earlier that you must also define a default template and publishing location within the solution. Although you may define multiple templates and publishing locations, the Dashboard Alerts module requires that you create a default template and publishing location record. This becomes the template that the solution uses for every event if no other template is specified. Follow these steps to define the default template and publishing location. Expand the Admin module and click on the Services tab and select the Webcast Locations tab. Click on the Add button to define a new location, or on the blue Edit button to select an existing location. If you are adding your first webcast location, give this location a name of default in all uppercase, as you see here. You must have one template with a description of default. For the HTML template, depending on the version of the solution that you are using, specify the name and location of the default template that will be used. Do not reference map drives. Use UNC specifications instead. Or as in my version, click on the Choose File button, navigate to the location of the dashboard template, select the template, and then click the Upload button. For the publish location, enter the name of the folder beneath which you have defined the subfolders in which webcast output will be generated. For example, if you created publishing location or folders beneath the webcaster folder called Smith, Jones, and Parker, your selection for the publish location will be as you see here. Do not use map drives, and make sure you place a backward slash at the end of the publishing location. This tells the solution to put the dashboard output into the appropriate subfolders beneath this location. The active option makes the webcast publishing location available for use in the solution's events. The dynamically create disk folders as needed option lets you specify whether you want the solution to create folders in which dashboards are created if those folders do not already exist. Note that the Knowledge Sync Windows service must have the required privileges to create folders beneath the publishing location that you have specified. Note that the computer running the Knowledge Sync service must have write capability to the publishing location. You may specify an FTP or SFTP address as the publishing location using a specific format that can be found in the user manual. You may use a WML file as a template to support WAP access for handheld devices. Now let's talk about webcast trigger or query design. Before you design a trigger for use with a dashboard, you need to decide the following. Will my event create a single dashboard, for example, customers on hold, or multiple dashboards, for example, Tim's customers on hold, Dave's customers on hold, etc.? Your answer to this question will determine the design of the trigger that is used with your dashboard event. The first type of trigger we will look at is the one event, one dashboard. If an event is going to generate a single dashboard, you should hard code the location and name of that dashboard within the trigger itself. Take an example of a customers on hold dashboard that displays a list of all customers on credit hold. You might decide to store this dashboard file in a folder called General, and you wish to call that output file customers underscore on hold. Here's how you would design the corresponding query. Create a query that retrieves on hold customers. Create a query column whose contents are the name of the publishing folder, backslash, and the name of the output file. So in the example we will see, we will use general as the name of the publishing folder with the backslash, and then the customers on hold, customers underscore on hold as the name of the output file. The column name I have highlighted here tells the solution to create the dashboard file in the general publishing folder and to give the dashboard output file a name of customers underscore on hold. Be sure to give the column a customized name of dashboard underscore address. Click on the Preview tab of the query to make sure that the dashboard address field shows up. So in our example here, we see general backslash customers underscore on hold, just as we indicated back on the Columns tab. From here, you can go ahead and update or save your query. The next type of trigger we will look at is one event, multiple dashboards. If an event is going to generate multiple dashboards, for example, user-specific, you will need to embed variables within the query dashboard address column. Using the example of the customers on hold dashboard, let's say you want to create one dashboard for each salesperson who has on hold customers, and you have sales reps named Bruce Huntington, Karen Beck, and Ron Calley. You've already created a publishing location folder for each of them. Now consider the trigger. Each customer is associated with a sales rep, the three we just mentioned, and each sales rep's name corresponds to a publishing location. So all you need to do is to tell the solution to create a separate dashboard for each salesperson who has on hold customers. You would create a calculated column, and it's the format that would again be as follows. You'll have the name of the publishing folder, the backslash, and name of the output file. But instead of hard coding the name of the publishing folder as we previously looked at, you would use a database field to control the name of the folder in which the dashboards will be created. And in this example, you'll see the AR salesman file, which is the table, and then the salesperson name is the column or the field with the backslash, and then the name of the report or the output will be customers underscore on hold. You can see that I've highlighted the calculated column that shows dbo.ar slm file underscore sql dot slspsn underscore name, and that is the field that contains the name of the sales rep to whom a customer is assigned. And that name also corresponds to the name of the folder in which you want each dashboard to be created. The solution will automatically create the appropriate dashboards in the appropriate locations based on the records retrieved by a trigger. And so if the three sales reps had on hold customers, the solution will create 3 dashboard output files, one in each of the 3 corresponding publishing location folders, and each file would be called customers underscore on hold. Notice here too, we have the customized name for that column as dashboard underscore address. Triggers that create multiple dashboards must include a sorting field that groups the matching records by dashboard recipient. So in this example, the query also includes a sorting field on the sales rep name. Once again, we'll click on the Preview tab of the query to make sure that the dashboard address field shows up, and it has the salesperson's name along with the customers on hold, customers underscore on hold name of the dashboard. And you can see there's a couple for Bruce Huntington, one for Karen Beck, and 2 customers for Ron Calley. From here, you can go ahead and click on the Update or Save button. And we'll move to the next type of trigger, which is dynamically naming the dashboard output file. In addition to dynamically determining the publishing location of dashboard output files, the solution also lets you dynamically name the dashboard output file itself. In the previous example, 3 sales reps named Bruce Huntington, Karen Beck, and Ron Calley would each have a dashboard file called customers underscore on hold in their corresponding folder. But what if you wish to precede the name of each dashboard output file with the name of the sales rep? That would be easy. We will modify the dashboard address column as follows. The database field backslash database field plus the name of the output file, And in this example that you will see, we're going to again have the table and the salesperson name column backslash plus the, again, table and salesperson name plus underscore customers underscore on hold as the output file name. Now, the sales rep named Bruce Huntington will have a file called Bruce Huntington underscore customers underscore on hold in his folder, and the other sales reps will have correspondingly named dashboards as well. You can see in the highlighted calculated column, we have the field for the sales rep as the publishing location, backslash, the field for the sales rep again, plus underscore customers underscore on hold as the output file name. Again, we'll use the dashboard underscore address as the customized name for the column and select sorting based on the salesperson's name. Click on the Preview tab of the query to make sure that the dashboard address field shows up, and we have the salesperson's name as the publishing directory, and then the salesperson's name underscore customers underscore on hold as the output file name. From here, we'll go ahead and once again click Update or Save to save your query. Our last option that we will discuss on this slide is choosing a webcast template and publishing location within the query design. Note that you may skip this section if you are using a single dashboard template. Earlier it was mentioned that you can create multiple dashboard templates. If you have multiple templates, you can control which template the trigger's resulting dashboard will use by modifying the dashboard address column as follows. We'll have the template location name with a colon plus the publishing folder, backslash, and the name of the output file. So the example we're going to look at here is you can see the highlighted calculated column. We have dash underscore ext colon as the webcast template, general as the publishing location, backslash, and overdue underscore activities as the output file name. This syntax will create a dashboard called overdue underscore activities in the general folder using a webcast template called dash underscore ext. Note that you would need to set up webcast locations for each webcast template you use. Now let's look at configuring a dashboard event. To specify the content of a dashboard, create an event that uses the trigger you designed. We'll use a query that we looked at earlier that creates multiple dashboards using dynamic naming for the publishing location and output file name. Next, we'll select the webcast deliverable. You would go ahead and select on the plus sign here or click on the plus sign and select webcast as the deliverable, as the delivery method. The webcast deliverable is where you specify the contents of your dashboard. Dashboards are typically formatted to display their data in a table type manner. Since this data will be shown in an HTML format, the webcast message must be defined using HTML syntax. The webcast subject will typically be a description of the overall event, such as customers on credit hold. And you can also include data variables in your subject, such as customers on credit hold for a salesperson's clients, as I've done here. A standard webcast message template is provided with the dashboard setup kit from the solution. We encourage you to use this template. Looking at the preview message part of the webcast, you can create or customize the webcast content. Here I have formatted a table including variables from the query that we used as a trigger. Begin repeat and end repeat can be used so that all the matching records will be displayed within the dashboard that's created. Dashboards may be created to include URL links to reports, charts, and files. For example, you might have a dashboard that shows overdue payments, and you might wish to include a report or chart that shows corresponding AR aging report details. To link a report, chart, or file to a dashboard event, you would need to go ahead and create it as needed. And if it is a report or chart, you will need to define it within the solution. You would then go to the deliverables, click on the plus sign to add a deliverable, and then go ahead and add the corresponding chart, report, or file. Select the output format and fill in any required parameters. You would then go back to the webcast deliverable window and place a check mark in the include as URL links and include file as URL links, and then the webcast notifications should wait until the reports are completed box. The report check boxes apply to both reports and charts. The last step in linking a report, chart, or file to a dashboard is the process of specifying where in the dashboard you want the link to the report, chart, or file, referred to as the report reference field, to appear. The name of the webcast field that provides the link to associated reports, charts, or files is it's curly brackets, event underscore URL, closing curly bracket. Each report, chart, or file associated with an event will appear as a separate URL link in the webcast. If you want the dashboard to generate just one report and not one report per triggered record, you should place the solutions variable called event underscore URL, enclosed in the curly brackets, in the webcast's title or caption. If, however, you want the dashboard to generate one report per triggered record, you should place the event underscore URL, enclosed with the curly brackets, value in the body of the webcast. This enables you to have reports and charts that are unique to each record in the webcast display. Now, the field titled expiration days controls the number of days that information will remain in the dashboard. Typically, users do not want dashboard information to remain in the display unless the corresponding business conditions remain in existence. An expiration days setting of -1, which is the suggested setting, tells the solution that each time the dashboard event runs, its contents will be refreshed with only those records that meet the event's criteria. You may also change the background color of the dashboard. Next, we'll go ahead and look at subscribers. Except for user alert listings, dashboard events do not use standard subscribers. This is because the query that powers a dashboard event already contains the location and name of the dashboard output files. All you need to do is specify the name of the query field that contains the dashboard location and name information. So in the example from earlier, the field where this was stored was called dashboard address. So we'll click on the advanced subscribers option in the dashboard event. We'll go ahead and click in the lower grid that says contains webcasting name for web delivery. And we went ahead and selected the dashboard underscore address field. Like any other event, you would go to the Schedule tab to specify how often a dashboard event runs. Note that the frequency of running will determine how often this event updates its display with new or changed data. Also wanted to make sure that in the Event tab here, that the repeat notification for triggered items should be selected, since you want to make sure that every time a dashboard runs, the solution will show all matching records. You want to make sure that the event is repeat enabled by checking that box on to repeat the notifications. So let's go ahead and update or save this dashboard event. And I'm going to go ahead and click Run Now. So I do have it highlighted, and I'm going to click the green Run Now button. And I'm confirming the schedule, so I'll go ahead and click OK. And then it is letting me know that the item has been scheduled. Once the event has been submitted, I can go to the Monitor section or the Monitor module here to track its status. I would begin at the Application Events tab to see that the event has gone from pending to checked. I can go ahead and hit my refresh button. If I'm not getting anything, I can go to my checked tab, click on refresh. I do have a 1:43:49 timestamp. I'm at 1:44, so that looks pretty good, looks close enough, and I have my event description here that matches. If it meets the criteria, it will then move to the trigger tab. So once again, I've got a 1:43 timestamp, so I can go ahead and click on the plus sign and see the details next to that event and view its tracked items and deliverables. From here, I can actually go to the Webcast Delivery tab. If I have it pending, it would show here. I can hit refresh just to be sure. And then I can click on the Sent tab and go ahead and take a look. Once again, I've got the date and time stamp relatively close to what my time is, along with my event description that matches what I just ran. So it did send, it has completed. I can go ahead and click on the arrow or the expand button and see the actual text and the contents of the dashboard. And then I can go ahead and come out to, I am on the web or in the cloud version of this solution. So I can go and take a look at the file itself by clicking on Admin, Files, and I do have my Webcaster file here as well. And then here are my directories or my folders for the salespeople, Bruce Huntington, Karen Beck, and Ron Callie. I'll go ahead and select Bruce Huntington. And you can see here I have a report called Bruce Huntington _ customers _ on hold. So from here, I can go ahead and download it to take a look at it. And I open up my webcast and I have my salesperson is Bruce Huntington and I have my companies that are currently on hold. For the desktop version, you can navigate to the folder location where you created the Webcaster folder and look for the published folders and output files. The next topic we're going to talk about is creating user alert listings. An additional use for dashboards is as a display of all the alerts sent to a user. In this configuration, a user would typically have a single dashboard window which would list all of the alerts from the events that the user wishes to be informed about. Because such a window could contain a wide variety of event data, the design of such a window is typically very generic. Like all dashboards, user alert listings are self-updating, so newly triggered events will automatically be added to the displays. User alert listings are also an excellent way to deliver forms, documents, and reports to the users viewing these listings. Once you have created your webcast publishing locations, you can define the address for each subscriber who will receive a user alert listing dashboard. So we are going to go to the solution subscriber option. So we'll expand the event designer module, click on the subscribers tab, and locate the subscriber whose address for their user alert listing you wish to define. So we'll go ahead and navigate to Jane Doe and we'll edit her subscriber account. And we're going to go ahead and click on that webcast tab. In the name field, type the name of the webcast folder in which the alert listing will be created. Do not enter the entire path, just the publishing folder name. In the location field, click on the drop-down arrow and select the dashboard template to be used when displaying the subscriber's alerts. You may define both a primary and a secondary webcast delivery detail for a subscriber. If you will be using webcasting but not for user alert listings, it is suggested that you select the default publishing location. For any event whose webcast details you wish to populate into a subscriber's user alert listing, we'll first go ahead and click on the application events. We'll go into the ERP application and open the events tab. And let's go ahead and take a look at an event with the one dashboard, and we'll open that up. And we will go to the subscribers standard window of the corresponding event here. We'll select the subscribers with whom you wish to generate the user alert listings for. So we'll go ahead and select Jane Doe for this particular example and click Add. And be sure to place a check mark in their webcast checkbox delivery option. When an event that updates a user alert listings is triggered, the solution automatically creates or updates the corresponding dashboard file and publishes it to the corresponding location of each subscriber. When additional events are triggered, the solution automatically recreates the user alert list dashboard file, including both the existing alerts and the details of any newly triggered events. Existing alerts will continue to be listed on a subscriber's alert listing dashboard until the alert's expiration date has arrived. One of the most powerful aspects of user alert listings is that, unlike email, a subscriber may keep a web browser open to their specific alert listing location and receive real-time updates about newly triggered events. This concludes our discussion on dashboard alerts within the Alerts and Automation solution. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you for attending SAGE Alerts and Workflow video-based training.